Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel with me Arya today. Today topic is actually quite interesting related to the one of the services that we can use in the AWS. So the topic is about how we can do the monitoring for our web that deployed on the EC2 using the AWS OpenSearch. So actually this topic can help you as a developer or system administrator or even for the security engineer, because this topic can help you to get the idea what's going on your web application. Okay, so basically this topic, I brought this topic so we can answer some of the question that might interesting for you guys. So let's see the question. So this is some question that I will try to answer by the end of these videos by using this AWS OpenSearch service. So the first question is how many visits that my web server has, and the second is how many unique IP, and the third is how many unique user agent that coming to my site or my web server, and how is the trend. I mean, like how is the trend is going by time or over time, because I don't want to see only for today, but I want also to see like for yesterday, 2 days before, last week, or even last 1 month. So I want to see the trend, whether it's increasing or decreasing in terms of the number of visitor. And then, is it possible to get the idea whether my application actually trying to be hacked by someone? So I want to know this and the answer of this question by using this AWS OpenSearch. Okay, so let's get started. Okay. So let's get started by knowing what is the AWS OpenSearch. So basically, this AWS OpenSearch is the service that we can use to search, visualize, and analyze up to petabytes of text and unstructured data. This text and unstructured data can be logged from the web server like the Apache, Nginx, or any documents actually. So CSV, even CSV you can ingest to this OpenSearch, and even the JSON data you can also ingest. Let's say you create the log from your application in format of JSON, you can ingest to the OpenSearch easily. So there is no problem. So and OpenSearch actually derived from the Elasticsearch, the one of from the open source, and also we can use this AWS OpenSearch as a log management engine, because actually this one store the index, store the log, and also it will process the log based on the query that we send to the engine itself. Okay, so this is the AWS OpenSearch, and actually we can access the AWS OpenSearch in the AWS console and also page. We can see something like this, right? So let's back to the slide again, and this is the sample of the data flow that how the AWS OpenSearch work. So you can see that it's divided into 3 sections actually. The first one is the input, and the second is the Amazon OpenSearch service, and the third is the output. So for the input, actually we can use like log files, the one that I mentioned from the web server, messages, metric, config document, or anything. So actually many things can be ingested to the AWS OpenSearch, depend on the tools that you use to ingest the data. So I will mention some tools that we can use for this one actually. So yeah, this is for the input, so at least you can know many sources that you can try to ingest to the AWS OpenSearch with the format that supported. Usually if you have a delimited format, text format, JSON format, it will be easy. So it will be easier if you have JSON, because the unstructured data can be easily ingested. So you can also try to create your pattern to reach text file, and then you can determine, okay, so this part of the line will be value for this field, and another part is for another field. So there is no problem, we can do something like that. And then from the input we can ingest the data to the AWS OpenSearch service, and after that actually we can access the data, the visualization using the Kibana, so the OpenSearch dashboard. So basically in this OpenSearch service we can have the log management, log storing, log engine, and also the dashboard itself without like deploying anything. So you don't need to deploy your Elasticsearch and deploying your Kibana by your own, because you know, like managing those are quite effort to make. Okay, so this is how it works. And there are some terminologies that you need to learn regarding to this open source. First is the logs test. Logs test is the one of the tools that you can use to ingest the data to the open source. Because let's say you have the log file and you want to monitor the file so you can get the real-time data shown in your dashboard. Actually, you need this kind of the tool. So logs test can be answered for that. So the logs test will monitor the log file of yours, and then if any changes on your log file, it will read and send to the open source. You can do some modification like filtering, mutation, convert some type or something like that. Also, Elasticsearch, we can use this, we can call this for the open search service. And then the Kibana for the dashboard. So in this Kibana, actually, you can create a dashboard. Inside of the dashboard, you can have one or multiple visualization. And visualization actually a form of the picture of the data that you query. So basically the log that you parse, the input from your log, actually it will be a document, right? And the document itself will be stored in the index that's stored in the open source. And actually you can have the logical wrapper for the index, and it will be called an index pattern. Let's say you have index called log HTTP or log Nginx for today, log Nginx for tomorrow, log Nginx for yesterday, and something like that. And you can have index pattern called log Nginx wildcard or star, and then those three index will be wrapped as a single index pattern, and then you can query to visualize your data there. Okay, so this is the example of the data ingestion tools that you can use. The first one is Filebit. You can try to explore this one. The functionality is quite similar with the logs test, but the feature is more simple than the logs test, because like no processing before the sending the data to the open source. And then there is a logs test. This one that I will try to explain in this tutorial. And also there is a Python library, Elasticsearch library, that you can use to ingest data to the open source. Okay, so OpenSearch itself is free and open for the data processing pipeline, so you can send the data to the open source or even Elasticsearch. And it will consist of the configuration file, and it will consist of three parts. The first one is about the input, and then filter, and then the output. So in the input, actually you will define what to watch. Like, okay, you want to watch a specific file in specific directory with the specific file name and something like that, or you want to watch a file with JSON format, or you want to open the HTTP port so you can receive the HTTP request and something like that. And in the filter, actually, after you get the log from your file, actually maybe you want to do some modification or processing before you sending the data. You can define that in the filter section. And the last, in the output, actually you can define whether, so I have the log that already processed, and what I want to do, whether I want to print in the standard output, or I want to send it to the Elasticsearch or OpenSearch service. So we can have something like that. Okay, so this is the logs test. And now we can start to create OpenSearch service by accessing the OpenSearch service in the console, right? So first thing, you can create the OpenSearch by create domain here. Okay, so you can specify the domain name like test OpenSearch 1, something like this. For the custom endpoint, for now, let's not enable this feature, and for this one, let's just select for the deployment and testing, because we just want to export for this one. Okay, and for the version, we can use the latest. This is the 1.1. okay, for the Elasticsearch, actually it can use various version. Okay, so there is no problem. Let's say I want to use 6.8, something like this. This is the version that I can choose. And then for autotune, let's use the enable and the data nodes. Okay, so for this one, let's try to use T2 small search, and the number of nodes, let's use only one, only for the exploration, something like this. For the storage, EBS, and then type is SSD. The storage 10 gigabytes will be enough for exploration. Okay, so warm and cold we can leave and something like that. For the network itself, for now, I don't want to create a public dashboard, so I just want to be access my dashboard using the jump host using my EC2. So basically, later when I want to demonstrate how to access the dashboard, I will SSH to my server and open the SOCKS proxy during the SSH, so I can use that as a proxy to access the dashboard, right? So we can use the VPC that you already have in your AWS and select the VPC, and you can select also the subnet and the security group also. So make sure that you allow the port 80 and also HTTPS 443, okay, in your security group. And for the role, something like this, and this will be okay. Then for the access policy, actually for exploration, you can use the only use fine-grained access control, okay, something like this. Okay, and okay, HTTPS should be good. This one, node to node encryption, okay, this should be good and just great. So the thing is, if you create this, it will take quite time to be prepared. So that's why I already create another domain that we can try to use, right? So this is my another domain for the OpenSearch. This is for the CVE was OpenSearch. Okay, you can see here, this is the example of the dashboard for the created domain. So we can see the URL for the dashboard. This one is the Kibana, the one that we mentioned earlier in the presentation. So by accessing this, actually we will have access to open the dashboard itself, to create the visualization, to create the index pattern, and then to create the dashboard itself. And this is the endpoint for the OpenSearch. Basically, when we want to ingest the data from the Logstash, so this is the endpoint that we need to specify in the configuration of the Logstash itself. Okay, so yeah, so let's jump to the configuration of the Logstash itself. So let me share my console. Okay, so now you can see that in the console, I do the SSH, right, used to my box. This is the IP of the my box, right, and this is the -D. Actually, it will open port 12022 on my local, and it will be a SOCKS proxy, so I can later use this for my browser to open the dashboard, the Kibana. So now I will SSH access my server, and I will show you the example of this Logstash configuration to be able ingest data to the OpenSearch service. Let's wait for a moment. Okay, let's try again. This one. Okay, wait for a moment for this. Okay, now you can see that I already connect to my box, right? And because I use this -D, it means that I already have SOCKS proxy on my local. So no problem, I will just show you. Okay, so previously we choose the Elasticsearch 6.8, right? So what we need to make sure is actually we use the same version of the Logstash for the Elasticsearch. So basically for that, you can download that on the Elasticsearch website. There is no problem for that, and I already have that. And let's try to open this Elasticsearch the 6.8, sorry, Logstash 6.8, right? And just go to the bin directory, something like this. Okay, I already create the configuration for this one called let's see, Apache. So the idea of this Logstash is by monitoring the Apache from Apache log, and then parse the Apache log to be separated fields, and then send it to the OpenSearch services. Maybe okay. So okay, let's open this one. So you can see here, right? So this is the path, the input section that I mentioned before. So in this input section, I declare that I want to watch the file in the path of /var/log/apache access.log, this log file. Let's open this one. Let's still like -n5. Okay, this. So we can see that actually using this, we can see that it has format, right? So fortunately, we will use the format parser, the grow parser for this one, so we can parse this raw log like the IP, the date, the HTTP method, the path, the HTTP version, the HTTP response code, the body, and something like that. So we will parse this one. So we will configure in the logstash configuration to watch this file, okay, and parse the raw log. So let's back to the configuration, and in the input we already specify that we want to watch this file, and in the filter actually it has a grok function. So in the grok actually we can use match function to parse the message. The message is actually the raw log that we read from the file. Fortunately, we have this pattern called combined Apache log. You can search for this one. Basically, it already consists of several pattern, like this part is for the IP, this part is for the HTTP request, and something like that. Okay, so we just need to use this for parsing the Apache log. And the third is about the output. So this output here, I use two output. The first one is for the standard output. So basically, if there is a new request, it will be printed to the standard output. And the second output is the Elasticsearch or the OpenSearch. You can see that this is the endpoint that mentioned in the page, in the portal of the OpenSearch, and this is the user and also the password for the OpenSearch that I configure in the portal. And this is the index, the one that will be store my log or the document. So you can see that this is the Apache dash, this is the current date. So every document actually will be stored to this index. Later we can create the index pattern. So this is another configuration, like whether it use the SSL and whether we want to do SSL certificate verification or not. Okay, so this is for the logstash configuration. So let's try to run this one. Let's screen first. Okay, no, nothing screen here. So logstash need to be alive all the time, so we can do a screen, something like this, screen minus logstash. Okay, and to run this one actually we can use logstash dot wait oh okay, logstash, and then -r -f, and then the name of the config, apache.conf, something like this, and just enter. Okay, no problem for this one. Just let's wait for a moment for this. Okay, it will take time actually for the booting for this logstash, but no problem, we can wait for a moment for this. Okay, later we can see whether this logstash actually parse the log or not. Okay, let's call http localhost. Okay, we have, right, and let's back to the screen again. Okay, it's starting up now. Let's wait for a moment. You know that I called the curl 2 times, right? So let's make sure that the request parse and shown here, because I use the standard output for the output. Let's wait. See, so this is actually the example of the parse log. So you can see that the client IP is the localhost because I do curl from the localhost, and then okay, this is the 2 requests that I create from curl in the localhost, right? So basically, when the request coming, it will be parsed by the logstash and sent to the OpenSearch. Okay, now we can expect that there is this request in the index. So now we can detach from the screen and back to the OpenSearch portal. Let's back to that page. Okay, maybe you wonder like where to set up the username and password. So you can go to this security configuration, something like this, right? And you can edit for this page, and you can set in this create master user, and you can type the username and also the password that you want to use to do the authentication for your Logstash to your OpenSearch. So there is no problem. Now, since I already create the SOX proxy, okay, by SSH to my EC2, now I will open the dashboard using another browser because I already create the proxy, right? So no need to like use VPN or something like that. So now let's open another browser, and this is the endpoint that mentioned in the portal of the OpenSearch. Now let's open this. It will be failed because there is no connection, so I just need to use the proxy that I already opened, the one that SOX proxy. Okay, let's enter this one. Okay, now you see, now it's opening the page, right? OpenSearch. Let's wait for, okay, I already create the username, I already create the password, and just login. So now actually we already watch the Apache log, and it will send, Logstash will send the log and process log to the OpenSearch. Okay, now what we can do is we can check in the stack management. So the one that I mentioned like previously is about the index pattern. So basically we have index that store our data, and if you want to query those index, actually we need to create the index pattern first. So to create index pattern, actually we just need to open this stack management index pattern, create index pattern, this one, and you can type any a name that you want that still match with the pattern of your index. Let's say Apache, something like this. Okay, see, so in this Apache index actually we have 3, so from the 9, 10, also 11. So I can create this by click a next step, something like this, and I can choose like the field for the timestamp, something like this, and just create the index. Now I already create the index pattern, and I can do the visualization. There is no problem for that. I already create the visualization for this, and but let's see from the discovery first. Discovery is menu to you, for you to see the raw log that's sent to the OpenSearch. So this is for the last 15 minutes. We can see it's quite okay. 6 requests, not only from my side, I think. Okay, let's add more like last 7 days. No, okay. Oh, it's there, yeah, because I already opened this for last 3 days since 9 March. So we can see around 800 hits or logs actually parse from the Apache log. So for the first question, we can already answer like how many visit is around 800 hits or visit, right? So like the IP, it's this IP or another IP or like this IP, several IP. Now we want to answer the another question. Now for that, actually we can create the visualization by opening this menu, visualize, and we can select or create visualization. Let's say we want to create the line chart that will show how many IP or user agent that visiting our website or web server by each day. So we just click that and select the index pattern, let's say for this Apache. Okay, and select the time frame for this. In this case is 7 days, and now we already have the metric. So to do some visualization of our date, you can click in the bucket, you can click add, and the x-axis you can select the aggregation for the date histogram, and you can select for the timestamp, and you just update. It will show the timestamp that are available based on your data. Now, since you want to do the unique count of the IP or the user agent, you can select this metric for the y-axis. You can change from the count to the unique count. There is unique count here. So basically, you can do unique count for the specific field that exists in your index pattern. In this case, I want to do the unique count for the client IP. And let's update again. So now I can see that basically for its time, like per 3 hours, the most of the highest number of the number unique client API is only 16 for my web server, so it's not much actually. So for later, let's say we want to see about the user agent, let's say agent here, it's same, it will be okay, it's less, only 11 is the peak number. So we can say that okay, this is the number for the user agent, for the IP, and something like that. For Tonality, I already create the dashboard for this, so we can just open the dashboard. So basically, after you click the create visualization, you can add that, you can save that, and you can create also the dashboard by clicking this button. So this is the example of the dashboard that I already created before. So it will show the unique IP for the specific time range. In this case, it's the last 7 days. So for the last 7 days, it has around 116 unique IP that visiting my website or my web server. And then for the unique agent itself is around 46 unique, okay, not unique client IP, but unique user agent. Okay, and this is the distribution about the HTTP method. So most of them is actually the GET method, and the request total is around, okay, so this is for the day, count of the log itself, the count of the request of visit by the visitor. So the peak is around 212. And another thing is actually we can also see the path that the customer or the visitor access, like this customer, this try to access the /etc/password, and this is the user agent, something like that. So yeah, so this is the example, right? So some also try to do like what I call, yes, nesty thing. So basically using this open source we can answer many things, right? Like the question that I asked in the early video, like how many IP, how many user agent, and how the trend, we can see the trend now, and whether someone want to attack our website or not. So we can see from the path that they access, right? So it's quite, yeah, it's quite big number actually. See, someone used the Python to checking the file or the directory on my web server. So yeah, based on this actually we can try to like oh, see, there is a cell, we get net, something like this. So someone try to do some nesting to my web server. So the conclusion is, by using this open source service, we can do the log storing, log searching, log visualization in the simple way and minimum effort. So I can do this in several hours, and you can also do this. Don't forget to monitor your web server, so you can have the picture of what's going on your web server and whether someone actually do a nesting to your web server. Okay, now this is the end of my video. If you like this video, don't forget to like, share, and also subscribe to my channel. And if you have any question, don't forget to drop your question in the comment section and give the feedback for this video. I hope this video helped you to monitor your website that deployed on EC2 or any environment using the AWS open source service. See you in the next video.